On July 18, 2020, NASA launched a new vessel. 6 astronauts boarded Goliath 1 and set off to prepare the first human colony on the moon. The preparations were expected to take a year, but the vessel carried 6 months of additional food past that expectation in case of emergency. Radio communication was possible only on the side of the moon facing the Earth. The astronauts were told to stay in this area to maintain radio contact. The astronauts had landed on the eastern border of the Serenitatis. This lunar mare was largely covered in basalt and held few craters, making it perfect for colonization. The goal of the astronauts was simple: map the area for colonization and blueprint the construction of buildings. The only real danger on the moon was meteors striking it. As the moon was devoid of any atmosphere, an electronic journal of the day's events was to be sent back to that NASA, along with any interesting photos or videos. Although it was to be seen if anything exciting could happen. It was the moon, after all. The first few months of journals were fairly normal. The astronauts were right on schedule with the predicted progress. They wasted no time to blueprint the area. Everything in the normal town was to be in the future town. A grocery store, a school, a hospital, among other things. Of course, these supplies would need to be sent by other vessels. It wasn't their mission to build anything. Then, on the 17th of September that year, the daily report had not come in. It was speculated that it was forgotten, but it didn't come the next day either. Radio communication was not successful with the astronauts, and was only met with static. The radio tower was seen as working perfectly. It seemed that the astronauts were simply not within range of it. Several missing videos were later recovered from the site. The following is a description of each video. The astronauts were told to label their videos by date, using numbers following the date if more than one video was recorded that day. The first video was labeled appropriately as September 16th, 2020. It is around 10 minutes long and is mostly spent examining small craters near the border of the mare. Near the end of the video, the astronaut talks about hearing scratching noises from the crater, but this wasn't audible. The journal sent to NASA on the 16th of September did not mention this noise. The second video is also labeled appropriately as September 17th, 2020. This video was also focused around craters, specifically the nearby Bessel crater. This is an exceptionally large crater, over 9 miles across and a mile deep. The plan was to eventually build a bridge across the crater. This video is roughly the same length as the previous video. The astronauts begin to make notes of the crater when the scratching sound is heard again. This time, however, it is quite audible and appears to be coming from the basin of the crater. The sound becomes so loud it begins to irritate the astronauts. One of the men looks down over the edge to find the source of the sound. A force unseen by the camera suddenly pulls the astronaut into the crater. His screams are heard briefly before the camera is cut short. The third and final video is labeled Code 7700, Please Help. The date is unknown, but it can be assumed it is probably the next day. It begins with an astronaut in an oxygen tank. An oxygen tank? No, he was in an oxygen tent, talking to the camera. He explains in a calm voice that he has been unable to contact the radio. He also explains about how 2 of the astronauts have been horribly slaughtered. At this point, tears start to roll down his face, but he continues in a calm tone. The scratching noise from the previous videos is heard and suddenly and sharply. The camera is knocked to an adjacent wall of the tent, and we listen to the astronaut pleading, followed by a heavy thump. The man continues to plead and cry out for help, stating that he can't breathe. The camera is completely turned away from the man, so it is not seeing what is attacking him. We see blood begin to splatter the wall, the adjacent wall as well. The man continues to scream for help and is now completely bawling in agony. Blood splatters against the wall for a second time against the wall, alongside the sounds of a bone snapping and flesh being torn from them. His pleas for help suddenly stop and is just reduced to insane screaming and crying as blood spatters the wall. Again, a bit of brown liquid now mixes in with a bright lead liquid. The tearing sounds have since been replaced with that of squishing and sloshing. The only sound the man makes now is a quiet death rattle. Suddenly the man goes silent, and several of his organs are tossed near the direction of the wall. Coincidentally, the night of the September 18th was a red moon. None of the bodies of the astronauts from Goliath 1 were ever fully recovered. Colonization of the moon has been postponed until further notice. The team sent to investigate the radio communication problems the astronauts were having refused to talk to the public. Of the 4-man repair team, 2 of them have committed suicide since returning to Earth. While 3 videos were recovered, a photograph was also recovered. It is still unknown as to what this photograph is. So, that was Red Moon. A kind of an interesting creepypasta, I will say. I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty fantastic because I'm a nut when it comes to astronomy and learning about space and all. So this is right up my alley. So when I first read the story, I was pretty blown away that the author came up with this idea. So like what I like about it is that it's something that you usually don't see in other creepypastas, because most creepypastas involve killers, corrupted companies, and possessed game cartridges. That's it. That's all creepypastas. Lost episodes, images, like nothing about outer space, nothing about the universe. Outer space. It's a nice progress. I don't know why I said outer space like that. What killed it for me was that image. I'll get to that image in a moment, but what I like about it is that it talks about space, the universe itself. And that is something that we haven't fully explored. That's like something that a lot of creativity can come out of that, because we haven't fully explored out in the universe, so we really don't know what's out there. So I like this idea of NASA decided to launch this mission to build a moon base on the moon, and also stuff like that. But the thing I don't understand, and this is where it comes back to the image, this image right here on the screen right now, that's from a movie that I actually watched, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was from this movie called Apollo 18, which is a found footage horror film that surrounds 2 astronauts that were sent on a secret mission to the moon in December of 1974, funded by the Department of Defense. And what they find there is some similar creatures that are looking like crabs and spiders, if you know what I mean, disguised as moon rocks. Spoiler alert. Because no one, the reason why I spoiled it, because no one really would care to see it, because the movie was not that huge success. But that's probably where he got the author of the story got the inspiration for the story, because the scratching noises was kind of subtle. That's where I'm definitely sure for certain if he got that from Apollo 18. He definitely based it off Apollo 18 for sure. I'm not saying that was a bad thing or anything like that. I give him credit for that. But the ending really kind of felt lackluster because, we have unfortunately only recovered this one image. This might be the only image we have left. Okay, this huge freaking spider that's just sitting there and chilling in the freaking moon, on the moon. Well, there's the real reason we never went back to the moon. So, I actually personally enjoyed this creepypasta. I thought it was a decent story. Give it 7.5 out of 10. Still okay, but just the ending kind of felt a little lackluster in terms of like the image, and also he gets thrashed around and there's brown liquids. His organs get thrashed around. What, did he shit his pants when the fucking thing decided to kill him? That's what happened? Is that what happened, man? So that's pretty much it on this story. And so if you haven't noticed lately, my uploading schedule has really dramatically changed to once a day, starting this past Monday, the 23rd, and hopefully we can keep this streak going. So hopefully we can continue with this, hopefully. So if you have any changes to making this creepypasta to make it even better, post your comments and let me know down below in the comments section. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this with your friends and family, and comment below and saying what creepypasta do you want to see next. I have been trying to get this creepypasta read for so many months, and I can't, for like maybe 2 years now, and I still, a lot of setbacks happen, computer issues, and then school, and that's it. So Jeff the Killer is that one, and hopefully we can finally do Jeff the Killer, and hopefully we can, and then we'll do this Metroid creepypasta I came across, and the showers, and much more. Hopefully, if you have any more suggestions, any more stories that you want me to read, comment below. Let me know what stories you want me to read, because I am always looking at the comments. Most times they're always spam. These spam comments that are just saying, check out my channel. Wink wink. But that's it. That's officially it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this creepypasta reading. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I'll see you guys next video.